everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren and you're watching the Valentines, where we cover all things homegrown and homemade. And today's video I am covering places and ways to market and sell your handmade and homemade goods. So this is part 2 of a 2-part video series that I did. In the first video I covered 11 ideas for handmade and homemade goods that you can sell to make some extra side income for your family. So I'm going to have that linked. I definitely recommend you go back and watch that one either before or after this one. So this will be part 2. This is, first I covered what to make, and now I'm covering where and how to sell it. I want to mention that I have been selling my handmade and homemade goods for over 5 years in a variety of different sales channels and formats. So everything that I'm talking about today is stuff that I have actually done and actually been successful with, and that is why I am recommending it to you. So let's get into the list. I've got my notes that I'm going to be referring to here. So where to market and sell your handmade and homemade goods. Number 1, you got to mention it, guys, is Facebook. Now let me be more specific than that. I've got 4 specific areas and avenues on Facebook. Like it or not, Facebook is one of the easiest and free ways to meet people and market your products. So if you want to sell directly to people, I've had a lot of success posting products in my local buy and sell groups. This is an avenue that Facebook has been promoting. You can create specific listings for your products, and this is really hyper local, and that's what I love about it. It lends so well to handmade and homemade goods. People want to buy stuff that's made right on their block, right in their town, etc., etc. And sorry if you hear some baby giggles in the background. My husband is playing with the little one while I'm filming this. Okay. Very closely related to local buy-sell groups on Facebook are neighborhood groups. Now these groups are not created necessarily to buy and sell goods, but if you have like a neighborhood association group or like an area group, this is a great way just to let your neighbors know what you're up to and what you have available. Neighborhood Facebook groups are also a great way to get feedback. Like, for example, you could post a few pictures of a couple beautiful homemade loaves of bread that you made and say, hey, this is the bread that I made for my family this week. Would anyone be interested if I was to make a couple extra loaves and offer it for porch pickup? And then you can get some real-time feedback about, what people are interested in. Okay, next up for Facebook would be your own page. A lot of us have started a business page or like a homestead page, etc. This is a great way to kind of get your loyal following growing of people who are already interested in buying what you have made and produced. And then last one is Facebook Marketplace. So this is similar to the buy-sell group, but Facebook Marketplace is much broader. And this is particularly good if you have items that you can ship. Like, so for example, I ship my body balms and salves and soaps and candles, etc. So I have had luck posting these items on Facebook Marketplace and to get some, extra traction, broaden your reach. And of course, I'm always posting to Facebook, links that go back to my own website, my own Etsy store, my own YouTube channel. So that one is a no-brainer, but you got to cover Facebook first. And those are some specific places and avenues through Facebook that I've been successful with. Number 2 is farmers markets. I want to mention real quick, I have a whole video about tips for selling at farmers markets, and I'm actually doing it from a market, and I have shown you like my setup, and it's everything from how I merchandise and display to how I approach people. So if you're interested in that, I have that linked below. Farmers markets are such a great low risk way to get out there. They're low cost. It's going to be anywhere between like $25 to $45 for a table, depending on the market area that you're in and how competitive it is. And it's a great way to dip your toe in. You can sign up for one market, or you could sign up for an entire season. And there's nothing like getting the real-time face-to-face of actually observing people picking up your products, handling them, giving you their feedback. So I highly recommend farmers markets. I do have also another video on tips for getting started in farmers markets, and this one is different because it tells you about when to apply, how early, knowing some things about how farmers markets are set up. So I'm going to link both of those below. Those are both in my homesteading income playlist. So definitely check out your local farmers markets. Number 3 is festivals. Different than farmers markets, you know, any of your craft fairs, food and wine festivals, Christmas bazaars, you know, these are your once a year standalone events. And again, you don't have to sign up to do a whole business. You can start with just one event, and there's nothing like that real-time feedback. My only piece of advice for those is talk to other vendors who have done the event before you sign up and spend money on it. This is a great way to just know if you're going to get the foot traffic that you're going to need for your booth. And the other thing I'm going to say is some events are hit and miss. Some are amazing and others are not. And I would just recommend that you do a couple events before you decide whether or not there's good demand for your products. I have been a fellow vendor with some people at events that just weren't good events. And unfortunately for them, it was their first event. And I think that they left discouraged. And, you know, I said, hey, I think your product is really good. I just want you to know that I've been doing these events for like 4 to 5 years. At that point, this was a really slow event. And I don't want you to feel bad about yourself or your products based just on this event. So try to vet the events out first and see if they have a good foot traffic that matches, you know, does the clientele match the type of product that you have produced, and do a few before you decide whether your products are hit or miss. Okay, that brings me to number 4, and this is fundraisers. So what I'm talking about specifically are church fundraisers. If you notice that a friend of yours is doing a fundraiser on Facebook, and you can offer to say, hey, I have these products and I would love to offer a percentage to you to go towards your cause. Why do I like fundraisers so much? Honestly, to me, knowing that I am helping somebody, especially when I was just getting started, took some of the nervousness away. So we're all really nervous when we first put our products out there to be marketed and sold and judged, right? Especially when it's something you've made yourself because it's deeply personal. And so I definitely did some fundraisers very early on because I thought, you know what? Even if my packaging isn't the best, you know, even if I'm a little self-conscious about my logo, even if I'm scared and I'm nervous and I don't know how these products are going to be received, at least I know that I am helping someone through this. And that really took, like I said, some of the edge off, some of the nervousness away. And you're doing good. You're partnering with causes that are important and really being part of your community. So definitely have your, radar out for fundraisers going on that you could participate in with your handmade goods. Okay, let's see what's next. Number 5, one of my absolute favorites, and this is a roadside stand. I'm gonna put a couple pictures in here. So some people have built like these incredible Instagram-worthy roadside stands, and that is definitely goals for me for one day. But what I have done is I have just put a 4-foot table out at the end of my property, out of the street, with a tent. So a small table, a small tent, and I placed some of my products out there with a sheet of paper with a QR code for my business Venmo. And I said, please no cash, business Venmo only, how they can pay, that it's the honor system. And I had great success with this. So I did that like that, just completely hands off, where it was unmanned. And then I also did it where I would sit out for just a few hours in the morning at the coolest part of the day. You definitely get more traffic when you're sitting there. People are curious. They're like, hey, what are you doing? And it's a wonderful way to introduce yourself and what you're doing. So I recommend that very highly. It is a great way to also meet more members of your local community and people that live near you. Number 6 is food buying clubs. What I mean specifically is asking the organizer of your local food buying clubs if you can set up your table at the monthly pickup site. So I'm talking about, like, some people are familiar with Azure Standard or other like self-organized food buying clubs where you go once a month and pick up your supplies. Usually it's at a parking lot or someone's house. And our local food buying clubs here allow other people to come and set up tables when their members come for their monthly pickup. So if you're selling farm fresh eggs or poultry or whatever it is, you can have your table there when people come to pick up their monthly food order. Same would go for like a CSA pickup point. So food buying club / CSA. And our food buying clubs here allow people who are selling like fresh eggs or handmade goods to come and also set up a table so that when people come to pick up their monthly food buying order, they can buy from them also. I am sorry about the background noise. We're staying in our RV right now, and they are mowing at the campground right when it's like my only window of time to film this today. So I'm gonna try to edit a lot of that out. Number 7 is having a pop-up at a local retailer. So popping up at a local retailer has been great for me personally. I've been able to do this at stores that I wholesale my soaps to. Local retailers love having a new attraction at their place and showing their community partnership. And you're also going to promote it to your friends, family, and customer group, bringing hopefully a new group of customers into their store. I've had a lot of fun with these at several local retailers. There's also a feed store here locally that does this every Saturday, and they'll have 4 or 5 different vendors set up in front of the feed store. They've got a guy selling quail and quail eggs, someone selling tamales, ladies selling sewn goods, and it's really a couple others that like vendors that switch out. And it's really become quite a happening and kind of helped draw even more traffic to their store on those early Saturday mornings. So that was number 7. Number 8 is wholesale. You should always kind of have I think you should have an end game of wholesale in mind. So with wholesaling, of course, you're selling your products at a discount, usually 40 or 50% off, but the person buying wholesale has to order a much larger volume of your items. And so getting into retail stores by selling your products wholesale to stores is just a great repeat business. It helps you to manage your batch sizes of what you're producing and to forecast what your monthly income might be. So I definitely highly recommend this. I should probably do a whole video about that, of just what I've learned of 5 years of doing that, approaching retailers, the type of advertising materials you need. I should do a video on that. If you would like to see that video, please comment below and let me know. I have a lot of video ideas coming up, and I just want to try to be as targeted as possible with what people are wanting to see and what would be the most helpful for you. So definitely start looking to get your products in wholesale for retail stores. Number 9, we're getting close to the end, guys, is your own website. So I use WooCommerce. A lot of people use Shopify. There's pros and cons to each, but having your own website is the way to have the most control over your business, build your email list. Definitely just something to think about as you are, getting off the ground. Maybe not your first move, but maybe something to think about doing as you get established. So closely related to website, and this is number 10, and that is Etsy. So Etsy is a great option. It's easier and more immediate than setting up your website, but it has its pros and cons. For example, you can't build your email lists on Etsy. You do have the algorithm to deal with, but I have been successful in the past running ads on Etsy. Those are pretty easy to set up. As long as you have your keywords and tags set up appropriately, I did okay with it. I will say Etsy is very holiday driven. I always have more hits on my products and my ads, both organic and paid hits, around each of the major holidays. So just keep that in mind. But it is also, a great way to get started. I will tell you though, Etsy is a huge marketplace, huge. People all over the world selling on it. So you can't just set it and forget it. If you're on Etsy, you need to drive traffic to it through your own social media and letting people know that your Etsy store is set up, or running the ads, which I did. So those are 10 ways to get out there and sell your home produced products, your handmade and homemade products. Don't forget to go back and watch the first video if you haven't, where I share, I think it was 11 different goods and products that I have produced and sold successfully. So again, I'm coming from experience here, not just throwing some random ideas out at you. As always, I really hope this information was helpful and that we can build community around it. Please give questions, comments below. Let's get the conversation started. Thank you guys so very much for being here on this channel and watching. Please do subscribe. It's a free and easy way to really help me out, to help me have another side income. So with lots of gratitude, guys, I will see you on the next video.